can start whenever you're ready.
All right. Hey, my name is Gruval, and I'm so excited to be talking a little bit about entrepreneurship, kind of really inspired by my dad. Many years ago, he was with the railroads, which aren't around anymore, but he inspired me based on the fact that he was doing sales. And what I liked about that was he got to work with all sorts of people, he got to travel, he was kind of his own boss. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be cool. I'd love to do that someday when I grow up. And I think just being around my dad a little bit, really did inspire me. Although he never, unfortunately, he had health issues and wasn't around very long. I think I got the bug back then. What I like best about it is really being able to help people. So kind of took a little bit of a journey, helping people. It's been kind of a thread my whole life, and being involved in community activities, and really kind of looking around going, how can I help people? Which had really inspired me to work my first career in banking, kind of helping people, helping their dreams come true, and spending a lot of time in banking, really coming across a lot of different types of people. And after I realized this is really fun, I kind of want to be my own boss, kind of remembering my dad, like, how can I do this? So I really got the bug to go, how can I start doing projects and things? Started doing some volunteer work, and writing, doing some writing. I really enjoy writing and communications. And that kind of led me to start a marketing company. So being able to work with people, clients, helping them with communications, and going, yeah, I could actually do this at the same time as my I started a family. So being able to work around their schedules was pretty cool and pretty awesome. And really enjoyed doing that as they're growing up, and being able to be around them was super awesome. The one thing I've learned along the years is that being your own boss is great, but being your own boss is not the easiest all the time, because at this point I'm working at home. You can never turn the switch off on the light switch. You're kind of always on, and so that's one thing. It's like, well, it's different than a job. I have to actually work and earn my money. If I don't work, I don't earn money. So that's one type of thing that I learned in entrepreneurship. It's not a 9-to-5 job, and honestly, it's not necessarily considered a job. When I found something I love to do and was able to earn some income from that, it's really called a passion. And really, that passion really begins if you really love something, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. That means it's a good thing. Kind of being an entrepreneur, home-based business, transition to changes in the economy. I was working with banking for a number of years to open my business that I have now. It's called The Warehouse. And what we do, it's really a common thread. It's helping people stay healthy, be healthy through kind of nutrition and exercise. And so I'm really honored to be able to help people do that. And so about 5 years ago, opened a center with a business partner, which is another interesting thing, going through entrepreneurship, working with someone else, and having to make decisions jointly when you may not agree with everything. So opened The Warehouse again, having space to help people with their nutrition and helping people with their workouts and being healthy and active, and have learned a lot more about, again, you work hard, you get to play hard. So one of the things that I've learned along the years too is, again, you find a passion and you act on that passion. If you're not having the passion, that means you probably won't think of it as a lifestyle. I think entrepreneurship is really a lifestyle. It's not a job. Again, you don't turn the off switch off. What my typical day might look like is not typical, honestly. Every day as an entrepreneur, you are challenged, I think, to really use a bunch of different skill sets. Like, again, you're kind of on call if you allow yourself to be that way. You work with people. Sometimes you really might not connect with people, and I'll come back to that in a second. You get a chance to actually sweep the floors if you need to. You kind of pitch in and do everything you need to do to get the job done. But at the end of the day, it's rewarding to see people get results, in this case, be successful, and really say, you know what, my job is to make them look good. That's, to me, as an entrepreneur, it's not about me, it's about helping other people in my business. One thing I think I've learned over the years is personalities. If you understand people and you're able to communicate with them in writing or in person, you recognize who they are and you can speak their language, that's going to make the biggest difference no matter what type of field that you're in. As I've learned, I have certain characteristics. I'm very, black and white, and not everybody is. So being able to understand myself and know what words I choose to use, how I choose to communicate those, and in any business, and then understanding if I can hear the person from their perspective, that really will make me successful, and because it will make them successful. And then no matter what field that you're in, if it's marketing, if it's owning a pet shop, if it's being a dentist, you have to understand people, because really, even though there's all this technology, it comes back to that relationship with people. And I think that's really been the biggest thread, is learning to understand people, and kind of not being frustrated when someone doesn't communicate the way you want them to. I think I've learned a lot about that over the years. And again, it's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. Again, being an entrepreneur means, again, you have to be you're the image of the company. You set the tone if you have a team of people, and they're your image. So you want to make sure that you're always positive, you're upbeat, and that you don't get caught up in your own your own negative stuff here. You have to leave that aside. And I think as I've worked with people, other entrepreneurs, the most successful ones, I would say people that I want to hang around, or people that I connect with, are people who are upbeat. I've learned so much from other people. I get to choose my attitude. So when I'm positive, that also extends to other people. And again, no matter what business or what field you're in, that's your attitude is everything. Some tips I might suggest: really being involved as a young person, or no matter what age you are, connect with people, find groups, find organizations, people who have like interests, and hang around those people. I've heard studies that show the 5 people you hang around most are the ones that are going to influence your life. So really look at who you're hanging around. And as I've looked at that, it's not that you're being choosy, but you're just choosing to focus your positive energy on hanging around the right people who will, if you're successful, your success and aura rubs off on them, and vice versa. And again, no matter what field that you're in, I think that is really a huge tip. Be involved as students in school. As a potential employer, I look for students who are involved and who are really stepping up to the plate, and who are involved in things like DECA or a key club, or they're a leader on their team, no matter what activity they're in, theater, sports, what have you. I also look for people who have really stepped out and maybe do some volunteering, or maybe have a part-time job. So it's not just the academic piece, it's really, again, getting involved, and especially students in business organizations, networking with people, using LinkedIn. That's a huge, huge resource for people that I encourage students to say, hey, link in with me. If I can introduce you to a contact, I would be happy to do that. And they take me up on it, and I love connecting people. So I think kind of the thread of that is, really being open to, you never know who you might meet, you might meet a person who may not be a perfect fit for your company, but chances are they know someone who is, and it is amazing. Again, when you just open your eyes and step out of your comfort zone a little bit, I think it makes a huge difference.
Were there any hardships that you had to face, or challenges?
So hardships, boy, that's a great, hardships are something that every entrepreneur experiences. I think if, just thinking back, I started my first business back before 9/11, probably I think about 6 months before 9/11. I had just left a job, and that was my first foray into making my own business. And then 9/11 happened. That was not a fun time from an economic standpoint, but by the same token, everybody else was in that same position. So it's one of the things that you learn as an entrepreneur. You stick with it, and if you have enough perseverance, I kind of really believe that there's business out there to be had, lots of opportunities. So as challenges happen, I'm planting lots of seeds, and some of them are going to grow, some of them are not. Then some things can happen. You have a tragedy in your family, a family member gets ill, and if you're a solo entrepreneur, sometimes they pull you away from your business and your attention, and I recognize that, and part of it is, I look at being pulled away. Maybe I wasn't as successful from the economic standpoint, but by the same token,